Dear friends, welcome to the wonderful world of Shymkent, the Pearl of Shymkent. Our journey begins from the streets of this beautiful city. The first thing that catches your eye is modern high-rise buildings and architectural masterpieces. Shymkent existed in the 11th, 21st centuries. However, there is an assumption that the history of the city began much earlier, which is confirmed by archaeological finds of the ancient settlement of Shymkent. We will start our excursion from the historical and cultural complex of Shymkent, which is already 2,200 years old. This is an archaeological site included in the state list of historical cultural monuments of Kazakhstan. Legends and traditions claim that this is where the history of Shymkent began. Archaeological research started in 2003, allowed in 2024. Restoration work was completed and today the site is open to visitors. At the time of filming, the ancient city was visited by Arman, a Kazakh citizen living in USA. Together with his family, he decided to introduce his children studying abroad to the history of his homeland. Also, a traveler from Malaysia, guest Patrick Tong, shared these impressions.
First of all, it's actually, I think so, it's actually Kazakhstan is actually very rich of history. Okay. Second thing, actually, I'm come here for business. Oh yes, I love the culture, I love the people, I love the food.
Beauty and greatness. This is one of the most significant buildings in Central Asia, located in the new administrative and business center of the city. Here you can hear the azan, perform prayer, visit the library where the works of famous teachers are collected, and also become a witness religious rites and events. The mosque also includes a madrasa, a conference hall, and a wedding hall. The mosque can simultaneously accommodate about 12,000 believers. It is not only a place of worship, but an important spiritual center uniting traditions and religion. Mausoleum of Ibrahim Ata. Sayram is known as the center of Islamic culture of Central Asia in the 11th century and also as a place associated with numerous saints. The mausoleum attracts pilgrims from Turkish countries and tourists those interested in the culture and history of the Great Silk Road. And since the ancient Ispijab, today Sayram is the birthplace of the great Sufi Hoja Ahmed Yasawi. Then his no less famous parents are buried here in the mausoleums. Presumably the mausoleum was built before the 15th-17th centuries over the actual burial of the local sheikh, the father of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi. This object represents one of the earliest monuments of domed mausoleums of medieval architecture. Today, pilgrims and tourists see 19th century structure with preserved medieval elements of internal and external decor. The mausoleum is a single-chamber square structure. Its height is more than 8 meters. Despite the fact that the mausoleum was reconstructed more than once, it has not lost its sacred value. Today, the mausoleum is included in the list of monuments architecture of republican significance in Kazakhstan. As is known, in the 11th century, Ceylan was a center of distribution Islamic religion, and many spiritual mentors and scientists lived in these places. Ibrahim Ata was a farmer and came from a rich, educated family. Already in his early years, he gained respect among the local population, became a spiritual ruler and a revered preacher. Ibrahim Ata helped the poor and people in need of his help, led a pious life, raised many of his followers. Qazaqstan. According to folk legends, to the Qazaqstan mausoleum, the mother of the famous Sufi Hoja Ahmed Yassawi is buried. The mausoleum of Qazaqstan is located on the land of the ancient city of Ispijab, now called Sayram. People from distant cities and villages came to her for advice. Qazaqstan was also famous for her rare gift of healing, helped people to get rid of many ailments as well as interpret and understand dreams. Coming from a rich and noble family, Qazaqstan has always been close and accessible to ordinary people, thanks to which she gained wide fame and love far beyond the borders of the city. This is a restored structure of the mausoleum. The first one was erected in the 13th century, repeatedly destroyed under the influence of time and weather conditions, and rebuilt again. In the center of the mausoleum is a tomb of Yassawi's mother, lined with marble tiles. Qazaqstan's real name is Aisha Bibi. Khizir Tower. Khizir Tower is located 10 kilometers from Shymkent in Sayram. This monument of Islamic culture has a 300-year history. The tower is the only surviving structure on the site of a mosque from the 9th to 13th centuries, named after the Prophet Khizir. Minaret bearing the name of Prophet Khizir, mentioned in the Quran as the nameless companion of Musa, was once part of the mosque, which according to some historical data was founded in the 9th to 12th centuries. Today, only the 10.5 high tower has been preserved and restored from the previous building. It is interesting because it is made of strong baked brick, and up to a level of 5 meters the masonry was preserved in its original form, despite the fact that the minaret is an object of pilgrim. It remains attractive to ordinary tourists. For many, for example, seems like a curious task to overcome not the most of simple climb to the tower through a very narrow spiral staircase. Interesting history associated with the name of the Prophet. Some Turkish people considered him to patron saint of those traveling by sea, as well as saint who protect against fire, theft and even snake bites. Khizir was endowed with immortality, could work miracles, heal punish for vices and crimes, provide assistance to those in need. Mausoleum of Domalakana. The Mausoleum of Domalakana is an architectural monument. It is located in the sunny area of Karatau, far from the Balabogian River. The mausoleum was erected on the burial site of Nurila Ana, known as Domalakana. Nurila is an Arabic name translated into Kazakh as divine light. Nurila, that is Domalakana, is the third wife of the Baydibek Ata, a respected leader and wise Bia. Thanks to her wisdom, Domalakana contributed to the peaceful prosperity of her people. Historical records provide many details about morality, ethical, rational, truthful Domalakana, as her name suggests. Domalakana is considered the mother of all people living in Jetesu, Auliyata, Shymkent and Tashkent. One day, Domalakana sees her future betrothed Baydibek Ata in a dream, who calls her to return to her native land of Karatau. Domalakana spends her last days in Karatau and dies during prayer. In 1456, the grandson of Domalakana, Dulat, began the construction of four-domed mausoleum at the burial site of his mother. The famous architect from Bukhara, Abdullah Shiri, was invited to build the mausoleum. Over the centuries, the Domalakana mausoleum was rebuilt several times and did not retain its true appearance. Today, the mausoleum contains many ancient manuscripts and is a sacred place. The mausoleum of Domalakana is great, popular among tourists and pilgrims, since it is one of the key attractions of the Turkestan region. Akmeshit is the most mysterious cave in Kazakhstan. The Baydibek Tent or Akmeshit cave is rightfully considered one of the most mysterious places in Kazakhstan. It is located 18 kilometers from Shymkent, but like a magnet, it attracts scientists and tourists from all over the world. Tengri Mix tells about the unusual natural wonder of the Turkestan region. When the cave appeared, no one knows for sure. For millions of years it was closed and had no communication with the surface, and only the 20th century part of the Velot collapse did modern man have the opportunity to get inside. Akmeshit often calls it one of the 10 wonders of Kazakhstan, recommends for mandatory tourism visit to the Tuganjer project. The Great Heritage of Kazakhstan also visited the cave, the photographers its unique landscapes and listened to the legends, of which there are many. The legend about the Kazakh warrior and his battle with the Jungars sounds more pleasurable. One day, when the warrior Yeserkep Oykelde was preparing to go on the campaign against the Jungars, a heavy downpour suddenly poured down. The warrior decided to wait out the bad weather inside an unknown cave. They, the legend says, not only managed to feed but they even read the morning prayer standing in one row, and there were over 1,000 of them. Someone suggested naming the found cave after Yeserkep Oykelde, to which the Badr himself objected, "This is a gift from the holy mountains Karatau." She brushed her teeth. Not only won 10,000 army, but also horses. We were able to perform morning prayer here, and these light stones illuminated everything around. This is a sign that this is a difficult place. Let's call it Akmeshit, that is a white mosque. Aristambab. The mausoleum was erected over the grave of Aristambab, teacher and mentor, disseminator of the Muslim religion among the inhabitants of Turkestan, Khoja 'Ahmed 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 According to a well-known legend, by order of a great Emir, construction of a mosque began over the funeral grave of the world's famous Sufi and disseminator of the Islamic religion Ahmed Yasawi, but all possibilities for building walls ended in a failure. The Hoja Ahmed Yasawi appeared to Amir Timur in a dream and predicted that without the construction of a mausoleum over his funeral grave, mentor Arslan Bab will not allow him to build a mosque. Amir Timur followed the instructions of the saint. On his instruction, the construction of the mausoleum of Saint Arslan Bab, and only after that the mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi. Therefore, pilgrims first of all visit mausoleum of teacher and mentor Ahmed Yasawi Arslan Baba, and then the mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi himself. Since 1982, the Arslan Baba mausoleum has been under state protection. The reconstruction of the mausoleum took place several times, for the first time in the 14th, 15th centuries, and in 1971 it was disappeared, the cause of which was groundwater, though it was destroyed and rebuilt. Now the mausoleum includes two parts, a mosque and a tomb. They were united by a corridor of stacked structure. Inside the mausoleum there is a large tombstone of Arslan Bab as well. Over the tomb of his supporters, students Lashin Baba, Hermet Azir, Karga Baba. A distinctive element of the construction of the mausoleum can be attributed to the portal manufactured in a completely different construction form for the region, based on decorative element taken from patronymics in Russia and Europe in the 19th century. The main facade of the building is fortified with minarets. Two of them are decorated with sculptural brickworks. Inside the mausoleum you can see the Quran, an excellent example of calligraphy from the Middle Ages. In addition, a pair of forests have been preserved in the mausoleum wooden columns. Mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi. This grandiose structure was erected in honor of Ahmed Yasawi, famous in the East, lived in 12th century, recognized head of the Turkish branch of Sufism, thinker, poet. The mausoleum of Ahmed Yasawi complex is located in the city of Turkestan, South Qazaqstan region, built between 1385 and 1405. It is a complex that combines the mausoleum, Hanaka, mosque, administrative and economic premises. Mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi is a masterpiece of architecture and outstanding monument of medieval history. The mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi are an amazing complex of palaces and temples, a masterpiece of architecture and outstanding monument of medieval nobility, included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi is an architectural complex which combines the functions of the mausoleum, mosque, Hanaka, that is a room for performing mass ritual ceremonies of Qazaqstan, premises for administrative and economic purposes. In plan, it measures 46.5 meters by 62.5 meters. Externally symmetrical compact plan includes up to 35 rooms, connecting passages, stairs, corridors, which depart from the corner of Qazaqstan and divides the room into 8 compartments of blocks. The division of the building into a block indicates the desire to ensure their independent settlement. The builders supported parts of the structure of different weight for structures of different depth and building materials. Pile structures are very diverse: cross vaults, trompe, sail, beam and cantilever, cellular dome structures, parallel arcs connected to each other by half arches. The design is a germ of the idea of interesting arches, which received final development in the subsequent stages of development and architecture in Central Asia. The building is made of square baked bricks with dimensions 25.5 centimeters and 26.6 centimeters. Alabaster, that is, Guinness solutions, was used as a binding materials. A great choice of design scheme, high quality of materials and construction work ensured the building's strength and stability forever.